Daniel uses many parallelisms throughout the whole prophecy. If you don't understand what he's saying in one sentence or passage, chances are he just wrote something similar, or he will repeat the same idea soon afterward. So Daniel interprets Daniel. Those who ignore this rule of parallel structure will often pose extremely out-of-context interpretations, but disputed meanings can often be resolved right there in the surrounding verses and chapters.
One example of this is in Daniel 11:37, right after a description of the willful king. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of woman, nor regard any god, for he shall magnify himself above all. What is meant by nor the desire of woman in Daniel 11:37? Many interpretations of the desire of woman have been proposed. Some futurists read this to mean nor the desire for women, and twist the meaning to say that a future Antichrist world ruler will be a homosexual, not desiring woman. Some historicists would apply this to the papacy as a prediction that the Roman Catholic Church would forbid marriage for priests through sacerdotal celibacy. Others see a specific reference to rejecting Jesus Christ as the desire of woman, and compare this to the messianic prophecy of Haggai 2:7, and the desire of nations shall come.
Each of these interpretations is out of context and contrived, although the Haggai reference does hit pretty close to the mark.
If we look at this in terms of chiastic structure, A, neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, B, nor the desire of woman, B, nor the desire of any god, A, for he shall magnify himself above all. Nor the desire of woman is a Hebrew thought parallelism, or the repetition of a single idea. The desire of woman means the same thing as the gods of his ancestors. This king would worship neither the gods of his fathers, nor the gods of women, nor regard any god. The same idea is repeated twice for emphasis. This willful king would worship himself and demand worship of himself.
This is very helpful when we consider the Roman emperor cult. If this king appears in the time of the Fourth Kingdom, then it can be interpreted as saying that the Roman tyrant would not worship the gods and goddesses of the previous empires, the Greeks, the Persians, and the Chaldeans, but would actually institute a Roman emperor cult. This is something that is certainly true of the Roman emperors.
Nero went as far as to have a 100-foot tall gold statue made of himself, which reminds us of the 90-foot tall statue that Nebuchadnezzar made of himself in Daniel chapter 3. This is just one example of this rule of parallel structure. We don't have to go very far to find this solution. We don't have to leap thousands of years into the future to grasp at straws. The answer is literally staring us in the face. Another example of a common interpretation that ignores the rule of parallel structure can be found in Daniel 12:4. Many shall run to and fro. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Many biblical expressions can easily be taken out of context to mean what we would imagine, rather than what the context demands.
Many shall run to and fro means that many in the end times will be able to travel long distances, quickly using airplanes and helicopters. Using a satellite or telephone cable to connect to the internet, you can search for anything online and have the results in seconds.
Now the problem with this imaginative definition of run to and fro is that the literal definition is given in the next clause.
It means simply to increase in knowledge. The rule of parallel structure is that the writer will state something as an idiom or figure of speech, and then state it again more clearly, or vice versa. So the parallel structure could look like this. A, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words. A, seal up the book, even to the time of the end. B, many shall run to and fro. B, knowledge shall be increased. The Amplified Version actually has a good rendering of this verse. Many will go back and forth and search anxiously through the scroll, and knowledge of the purpose of God as revealed by his prophets will greatly increase. This fits with the theme of the second part of the fifth vision, which extends from Daniel 11:33 to 12:13, and is found in the repeated command to understand the words of the prophecy, and the contrast between the wise and the wicked.
I'll be dealing with some other examples of parallelism and chiasm when I deal with the fifth vision.